This is a HeadGum podcast.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to A Funny Feeling Podcast. I'm Betsy Sidaro.
And I'm Marcy Jarrow. This is a podcast where comedians tell us their paranormal experiences, and we listen to yours as well.
Oh, yeah. And if you have one of these paranormal experiences that you want to share with us, please email it to us at funnyfeelingpod@gmail.com.
Now get cozy.
And prepare yourself to be scared silly.
This is a Funny Feeling podcast. Betsy.
Marcy.
Oh, man. I'm super excited about our guest because I know we have someone with some locked and loaded stories, and that is always exciting.
So stoked. That's always, I'm so stoked.
Oh, man. Like, if someone comes on and they don't have stories, we'll make it work because we always have so many listener stories. But this one, there's fresh blood in the water.
Yeah, no, the paranormal sharks are getting ready to eat all that chum.
Shit, this is chum, ghost chum.
Give us that ghost chum, dude.
Well, we're very excited to bring on the podcast. We have comedian, actor, writer. You've seen him on Drunk History, Mindy Project, and most recently Mythic Quest. And he currently has a stand-up special that you can watch right damn now. It's called Spiritually Filthy. Mort, Burke.
Yay!
What's up, dudes?
How's it?
Ghost Chum was my indie rock band from the early 2000s.
Oh, what was your hit song?
Still Ghosted.
Still
Good.
It's kind of about that Tinder life of the.
Yes.
Being a ghosty. I did watch a Japanese horror film that was about ghosts and how just the loneliness that like lonely people die and then you're even lonelier on the other side. Imagine a Japanese horror film about loneliness and suicide. Could you?
Yeah.
You don't even get a respite from this earthly loneliness in the afterlife. You just get more.
What was it called?
Pulse.
Oh, I've seen that.
Oh, you have? Yeah, you're like.
I don't think I took that away from it.
What do you think? What do you think it was about that?
You know, this is what I remember from Pulse is that my parents got it for me for like Christmas or something, and on the DVD box it says like the scariest movie ever made, and I remember thinking, nuh-uh. The whole time, like waiting to be like, this is gonna be fucked up. Here we go, and then like, oh, okay. Nope, this is going to be fucked up. Here we go.
I think existentially scary.
Yeah,
I guess
you
I
have to
wasn't
be,
in
like,
the mindset.
a lonely adult to understand how horrifying that is.
They literally say like loneliness is what like people are alone, so that's when they kill themselves. And then at the end, the guy confronts death, and he's like, "It's lonely over here too." And you're like, "Oh, okay." Spoiler alert! I ruined the movie. It's still good, but you know. If you want to cohabitate, it's all about cohabitation. I think it's propaganda, honestly.
That's some of that. The existential horror stuff is some of the scariest stuff to me because it's like the Lovecraftian shit. Because it's all like this is spirituality but evil. That's the most horrifying stuff.
Yes.
Like I recently rewatched True Detective season 1.
Oh, yeah, which is great.
And so scary for that reason. Just like all those like alcoholic monologues from Hugh McConaughey or whatever.
Also, as someone from Louisiana, I thought they did such a good job of portraying. Like it looked so accurate to what I understand of like my home state. It really, I was like, it's rarely portrayed. Like it's always like bayous and blah blah blah. And I was like, this actually is where I'm from. Like it's what it looks like.
I'm from St. Louis, which is like a sister city to New Orleans, because they're like went back when people traveled by boats. They were like both port cities or whatever.
Oh, on
all
the
this
river.
Like, yeah. So like all this river life, like the blues came up from the Delta and stuff, and it's similar. Like it's like humid as shit and real green, and there's like a scary, spooky element of like what's in the swamp kind of a
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's spooky. We could talk about this shit all day, but Mort, tell us about your special.
Oh yeah. I just put it out on 800 Pound Gorilla. So it's also an album, which I'm psyched about. So you can listen to it on like Apple Music and Spotify and stuff. And I'm really proud of it. Like we shot it almost a year and a half ago, so it took a while to edit and figure out who are we going to put it out with. But yeah, that's like Kevin Hart's production company.
That's
so they have
nice.
like Kyle Kinane, Matt Bronger put their specials out with them. So I'm just like, I'm super proud of it. I mean, I did a ton of improv. I've been doing stand up for a pretty long time, but I like just didn't put anything out until during the pandemic. I was meditating. I was because I had nothing else to do. And I was like, and also meditation is important. I recommend it. But yeah, I like kind of came out of a meditation. I was like, shit, I think I should record something. And my partner was like, I think that's a great idea. So we just did it.
Cool.
So awesome.
Yeah.
What kind of meditation was it? Like, do you do like self-guided or an app?
I currently am doing TM. I studied like Buddhist meditation when I was in Chicago for a while, and then did a lot of like self-guided stuff, and then different apps, and then now I'm doing TM and have been for a couple of years.
Which is transcendental meditation for the folks who aren't in LA and don't have
Yeah.
All those non-David Lynch fans out there.
yeah.
Totally.
When I was at one of my lower points in life was someone was like, you have to do TM, you have to. So I went to the one here in Los Feliz, and they like it's a sliding scale, or they give grants or whatever. And I went to the intro, then came back to like actually like do the paperwork and stuff. And the lady like called across the like waiting room, like, do you have the $800 today? And there was other people there, and I was like, no, I'm supposed to do the like grant. And she's like, no, you have to pay up front. And it was so embarrassing that I walked out and never went back.
No.
Wow.
You got like poverty shamed at the spiritual center?
Yes. And that's why I'm saying
That's
it here.
so funny.
And I was like, oh, this is a scam. Like this is a scam. Okay, got it. And that's why I'm shaming them right now. So
I actually had a similar experience, because I've always been, this is the thing, like I try to stay open spiritually, but I also have like a real cynical side. So I went one time and was like, of course I'm not doing this. Like it's $1,000 for you to tell me a secret, like fuck off. You know what I mean? And then like a year
I was
later,
told not to do that. Like as a child, we were told not to keep
we were
secrets.
told not to. Yeah,
secrets are bad, let alone you're like picking my pocket, you weirdo. And then a couple of years, whatever, some time passed, and I was just like, you know what? It's time to like invest financially in some of this stuff. And it's been real. I'll tell you this, like, I've had wild experiences with it. The first time I started doing it consistently, I immediately wrote 3 pilots, and I'd never written a pilot. Like it just sort of came out. And then, so I was like, this is amazing. I'm just going to write tons of pilots for the rest of my life. And then it kind of stopped. I don't know. It's like, it goes in these interesting waves. But my experience with it now is that like, if I don't do some kind of meditation in the morning, my day is kind of fucked. Like like meditation takes me from like a day that's like a 3 to a 6.
Wow.
And if it was like a terrible day, from like a 1 to a 4 or 5.
Whoa.
Do you ever get above a 6?
No,
Yeah.
God,
Is that the highest? Is that your scale?
No. So a lot of days are like, I this sounds like I always rate my day by number, which I don't. But you know, I got a lot of 8s in there.
Hey, that's
Yeah,
nice.
That's what we're looking for.
Eight's good. Eight's good. Because you can't constantly be having the best day of your life.
No.
Because then
Right.
you get a 9 in there and you're done. You're that movie Pulse.
A 9 will make you be pulse.
You're saying
Yeah, if you're
after.
getting 10s all the way.
Oh, I got you.
yeah.
I thought we were saying an
That's
8.
right.
I was like, 9's better than 8, Betsy.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. Maybe now that I'm a big time podcaster who,
Go back to that place and
Yeah, dude.
slam $800 into that woman's
honestly,
face.
definitely big mistake. Go to David Lynch. That one. What is the name? Is it just called the David Lynch Foundation?
Yeah.
Yeah, I go to that one instead, and then I come back in after I have like my secret word on a shirt, and I go, big mistake, huge mistake, like a pretty woman.
Tell Lynchy, fucking blew it.
No, not that's the different place. Like I wanted different. The Lynch one, they did not shame me. It was another local place.
Oh, okay, I see.
So
Got it.
just to make it clear, David Lynch and I have no beef. No beef. No beef with Lynch.
No beef with Lynch.
Honestly, he could still cast you in like Mulholland Drive 2 or whatever.
Please.
Come on. Look
all
at
right.
that garbage lady. Come on.
Bob out of a dumpster or whatever.
Yes, come on.
You still can't afford it. Anyway, okay, we're kind of already there, but let's just dig into the what, if anything, do you believe about the paranormal?
Yeah, this is great. So, like I said, I just try to stay open. I mean, and this is what I kind of realized is that so we'll talk about this too later, but I realized, okay, so when I was like, oh, I'll go on that podcast, that sounds fun, but I was like, I don't think I have any like ghost stories. And I was like, wait, no, I totally do. Like my family is kind of, the big story I'm going to tell is that my mom grew up in basically a haunted house. And so I grew up hearing all these like ghost stories. And then I was like, I'm not really into that, but I am into kind of more spiritual stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I try to remain open. I generally try to go towards the light as opposed to the darkness, if that makes sense, even though it's kind of vague, right? But it's not because I don't believe in ghosts. It's because I'm like, I don't want to get too caught up in the ghostiness of everything. It kind of like creeps me out a little bit.
Yes.
Fair.
Yes.
Fair.
Very fair.
No,
It's creepy.
Yeah, it's creepy as hell, dude.
before we started recording, we were talking about how you are a Capricorn, but you're also a twin.
Yes. Yeah. So I have a fraternal twin brother. His name is Ben. So he doesn't look like me. He's like I'm like 5'10". He's like 6'2". He had a full beard and like Willie Nelson hair, but more like a kind of he looked like a Hell's Angel for a while, like a real like man's man looking guy, you know?
Yes.
And so he's like, and he's super funny. He's really smart, but he's also very like, he's serious and he's kind of type A. Like he sort of gets shit done. And I'm like, I pursued an acting career, all this stuff. So it's just interesting to me. He feels like a more traditional Capricorn from what I know about it. But then I have an Aries moon. I hope this entire podcast is about fucking astrology.
It can be.
Well, that was my big question is your birth charts have to be relatively similar, correct?
Yeah, right. Exactly right. Yeah, but we're 8 minutes apart. Which is why I always think like all this stuff, whatever we're talking about is like, it's just a pointer. Do you know what I mean? I think astrology is just a way to study yourself effectively, right? To be like, oh, I have these qualities that I maybe have a propensity towards, but maybe I need to balance it out with this other stuff. But I'm with you. It's really interesting though.
So do you have this, like, is your birth chart like fully the same or are there differences?
I don't know exactly.
We got to find this out. This is actually more important than the podcasting we're doing right now.
All right, I gotta go. But the thing is, my brother would definitely never get like a chart reading.
Well, you could do it. You don't need him. You know all
I know,
of
but
his
then I gotta pay
information.
like $200 to figure out, don't I?
No, it's
how
really
does one get their birth
it's
chart?
pretty easy. It's there's lots of free ones. It's definitely it's so popular right now that truly you could just comment on someone's TikTok and they'd be like, "I'll do it for you."
Yeah. Okay, interesting. All right, yeah.
But yeah,
I'm only into my own. I don't care about anybody else's, including me.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is good though. On Betsy's birthday, we were talking about all of her stuff because Betsy is my sister sign because she's a Gemini and I'm a Sagittarius.
Yeah.
And
My fiance is a Gemini.
oh.
Nice.
Is she a-
Happy birthday.
Are they a June or a
June coming up.
I have a theory about June Geminis.
What's that?
Better than May Geminis.
Oh,
And
okay.
That's only because my sister's a May, my dad is a June, and I get along with him better.
Well, so can I ask Betsy, what do you feel like that mean? Do you have any concept of what your being a Gemini means in your life?
Well, I've had people like just be pumped to be like, let me read your chart or whatever. And it was all pretty accurate. I can't remember specifics right now, but it was like, whoa, that's pretty accurate. I will say the whole like, but I guess it's pretty accurate. The whole like idea of like two personalities or whatever
Yeah.
is a little like because some people are like, whoa, you're a Gemini? Whoa, what's the other side like? And I'm like, not that bad. Don't worry. Don't fucking worry. Like, that's kind of been I've only, like, truly just had people be like, let me tell you what you're like. And then me being like, yeah, that's pretty close.
So I feel like with one thing my partner is really good at is that she's super capable of, like, if she's bummed but she's got to go into a meeting, she can, like, turn it on in this really impressive way.
Yes.
I feel like she's, like, able to, like, that I feel like that's the advantageous part of it.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
I love you pointing that out because, Betsy, I'm going to say that it's 100% applicable to you because you are so chill and, like, easygoing, and then but your performer side is fully, like, you could fully take up the room if you want to, but you don't. But, like, that's why you're such a good, like, performer, because you do like, you go from, like, low key, like, not trying to, like, to truly being, like, the funniest person in the room without trying, though. So
yeah, without a doubt.
I also know a lot about you Capricorns, so because I have a lot of Capricorns in my life.
Yeah, hit me. What's the deal?
Yeah.
I'm gonna like you, but we're gonna fight.
Oh my God, I'm scared for what's gonna happen.
The people I love the most in my life are Capricorns, and that is who I get into the biggest disagreements with because philosophically we hold different beliefs. So I'm so unstrict in my thinking in a way that's, like, frustrating that I can change my mind, like, kind of mid conversation, where I find Capricorns to be pretty set in their beliefs and not even morality wise, but just, like, factually wise, like, this is what is happening. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe it isn't. Like, I'm so annoying to Capricorns.
This is great because I feel like I am that way where I can be really regimented and that's why I've tried to work on being more open in my life to kind of, and I think it's really good actually because I think I just get healthier. Like, I feel like that's why I love the idea of this podcast. I feel like wonder and awe are very important for, like, a healthy
Love that.
life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, imagination is really important. And we just kind of live in a place culturally where that's, like, really, probably because it's all patriarchal or whatever, is, like, really frowned upon, you know?
Right.
So I think, so I've tried to be, like, open up that aspect of myself.
Because we talk about that a lot on this podcast. We're like, it's also just so much more fun believing in all this stuff. Like, it just makes life a lot more fun. I'm like, yeah, why not have, like, Bigfoot be, like, an alien who could transport or what? Like, yeah, that sounds great. That's so much more fun.
And even,
Totally.
like, the idea of talking about duality is, like, the dark and the light. Like, to be afraid of things, it also means, well, on the flip side, there are things so wonderful out there that like, if you can imagine the scary thing, then you have to be able to imagine the wonderful thing too, or you should. You should know that is, like, for every good, there is a great balance to this life. No matter what you believe, we do know just how systems work, just how plants work, how humans, animals, that there is balance to it all. And when things are out of balance, that we can really tell. But there is a great balance to this life. So I think that makes me feel better about stuff.
Totally, and it's also the same with, like, emotional spectrums, right? It's like if you don't allow yourself to feel the sadness, you're not going to get to experience, like, the opposite end of that, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Which is so important.
If you're always operating at an 8 no longer feels like an 8.
There we go.
It feels like a 5.
Come back. I have a quick question about maybe it's not even quick about being a twin.
Yes.
Have you ever, like, do you and your twin brother, did you have that, like, kind of, what's the word like, connection where you're like, oh, you just hurt your ankle because my ankle hurts?
Tragically, no. And I think it's because, or I don't know, like, because I'm with you. I've known identical twins who are very, they speak this, they have, like, twin language or whatever. They're incredibly close, and we're just more like brothers who happen to be born right next to each other.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Which is, it's interesting. But okay, so can I expand upon this and talk about psychicness real quick?
Of course. Whoa, of course.
What you're getting into?
What if we were like, nah? Let's move on.
I'm gonna edit this
You're
out because
weird.
no.
Yeah, that's too fucking weird on this podcast. Yes, I'm so pumped.
Okay, so I'll say this. So I had an amazing psychic thing the other day.
Yes.
But it wasn't mine. This lady, I was hanging with some friends. We were all hanging out. And there was a friend of a friend who heard me talking. And she came up to me afterwards and she's like in her 50s. She's from Nashville. She has these like steel blue eyes, like really striking eyes. But when I say that, they weren't like hard steel. There was like a real softness to her.
Yes.
So she was this really striking looking lady. And she goes, "You're a trip. Do you like They Might Be Giants?" And I was like, that was my favorite band in high school. And I had not mentioned that. I haven't talked about that in probably several years.
Yeah.
and I go, "Are you psychic?" She's like, "Yeah, a little, yeah." I was like, "Yeah, that's insane." And I was like, "So, okay." And because I'm into meditation, and I just felt a connection with this lady, I was like, "What's your meditation stuff?" And she was like, "Well, I wake up every day at about 5:30 a.m. and I've been doing pineal meditations." And I was like, so like, this is my thing about psychicness. And this comes back to the twin thing, is like, there's a couple things going on here. Anyway, first of all, like, I also agree with pattern recognition, right? Like, maybe there's some vibe about me that you can, I was born in the 90s. I'm kind of a nerd. I probably like music, so I'm into like weird, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also there's intuition. And I really feel like those things coalesce. Like, I think we have a tendency to be either or, right? So it's like, if you live with someone for a long time or are really close friends with them, you get more psychic with them. And that is like, it's understanding the pattern recognition of like, this person talks about this a lot. They're probably going to talk about, but it's also like, you know, there's just a feeling like, oh, dude, I knew you were going to say that. I just knew it, you know?
Yep. Big time. Because I have that just with, like some of my best friends where all of a sudden we'll both be singing the same song and be like, wait.
Yes.
What?
So and like and sometimes you'll start singing it at the exact same time.
Yes,
too.
and at the exact same moment of the song.
Yes,
like it won't
dude.
even be the beginning. You're just like, wait, what were we? Did you start this or did I start this or what's going on, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's wild.
Yep.
This
totally
is not the same, but I wish I could remember what episode. I think it's one of our 100th specials where we have a listener. We're listening to a listener story, and I don't know why, but I all of a sudden start singing the jingle. Like, I don't even think it's on the podcast. I think just in person, I start singing the jingle of Stanley Steamers.
Yes.
And then like 5 seconds later, they use the name Stanley for the first time and I don't listen to the stories before, but I was like, that's weird. Wow. That's so weird.
We were just like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah. And we see it in improv all the time, especially like in Chicago, which was so I mean, out here too, of course, but like they were very serious about group mind, and they would like there was this group called The Reckoning that was like all these incredible performers, and they also basically live together. I think there are all these like rumors about them constantly hanging out, you know what I mean? And you would see this amazing stuff happen on stage. It was like, oh, that's impossible that wasn't some sort of like otherworldly connection. It's really amazing to see, you know?
Yeah, it is really cool when you have that. Yeah, it's like channeling happens on stage or something like that. Like, I remember my last Herald night in New York, or not my last, it was my friend Chelsea's last, and I was like really sad that she was leaving our team. And we literally like just like walked outside on stage. No one said a word. We looked at each other and then immediately knew the scene. Like, we just like kind of like we knew exactly what we were doing. Like, it was just like funny. We're like, oh, it's so funny how we just like, and you don't even have to know someone that well to like really, it is just like some kind of like chosen focus on the other person.
Yes.
Yeah. And I've been like listening to, I go through phases where I listen to a ton of Eckhart Tolle. I don't know if you guys are into him, but he sort of talks about this idea that like we're all addicted to thinking, or the way he describes it is like conceptual cognition, basically. So we exist in the world of ideas, but then what true presence is when you can get into your body effectively and not just be thinking about the future and the past. So I also think there can be something about stage that can like be a shortcut into, because of like the adrenaline stuff.
Yes.
Into so you're almost just dealing with your intuition, and that can lead to really cool, like interesting stuff.
Yeah, because you have to be present in order to do anything good. Like, you can't constantly be like, well, the next move was supposed to be this.
Totally.
But it's like, that's not how any of it works.
And same thing with like professional sports and stuff, right? It's like it's all about sort of presence. Yeah.
As you're even saying this, it's occurring to me that's like, how often in life do you have that much attention on you from other people and like people wanting to laugh, people wanting your team to win, people wanting things for you, and they're literally looking at you and you have lights on you, and they're putting all that energy, they're pointing it right at you, they're doing a Care Bear stare from the audience.
Dude, I never thought of that. That of course they're like they're making the space. They're like setting a psychic foundation for all of this stuff to happen with all of their like energy and focus. Like they're being, it's like being the best therapists are all really good listeners, basically.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like they're being there for you to like, exhibit your best fucking like your most intelligence and your like greatest performing instincts.
Whoa. That's awesome.
That is when the audience.
Betsy, that was a total that was a sound. We need to sample you saying that's awesome. That's awesome.
We have millions of hours of it.
Yeah, I think every single episode there's a couple of those.
She means it. It's authentic. I guess that would probably explain like home court advantage too.
Now we're fucking getting
right there. It is.
Excuse me, Malcolm Gladwell. I have a subject for your next book. This is all fascinating. Now tell me something scary.
Now give me the creeps.
Now we talked about the wonder. Give us the nasty. Give us the sad stuff. The scaries.
Yeah. So okay. All right. And I've never really told these stories before, and there's kind of a lot of them, and they're a little complex too. So I'll try, but I'll do my best. Yeah. So my mom effectively grew up in like a haunted house.
Yes.
And so I talked to her and my sister about it recently in preparation for this podcast. Now, so I sort of grew up hearing some of these ghost stories, and then my sister wrote an article for St. Louis Magazine. My sister's a writer. She's a really good writer. She was one of the best listed in the book of Best American Poets in 2009. So Maud Kelly.
That is amazing.
Yeah, she's amazing. So really, really also super funny and like great writer. So she wrote this article all about this house called Cabiny Place. That was on Cabiny Street in St. Louis. And so this house was built in the late 1800s. And my mom moved into it when I think in 1964 when she was little. And she tells me, my mom, I also think has a little bit of psychic stuff. She doesn't like pursue it, but you know what I mean? One of those.
Yeah.
And I like this talking about it to her. She was like, the house did not have bad vibes. It was like a really gorgeous house. She's like, I remember like the plant life and like the lighting was really soft and nice. And it was a really interesting house. It had like, I'm not like any architecture expert, but it was like 2 stories and it had these really interesting, I think they're called turrets on them.
I knew you were going to say that, but because of the style of, it's probably Victorian style, right? Or
yeah, that's got to be it. Exactly right. So those things are almost like they're on like, like castles or something.
Yes.
Right? So it had this like impressive look to it. So there were just all these ghost stories growing up about this place. Like I have an uncle Mort, and he's like, he's an artist and he loved telling these stories. So there was all this stuff like, there was a lot of baby crying stuff. Like stories of like hearing babies cry. There was one of a woman like her feet like clicking like high heels down the street and then a baby crying. That would happen like all the time.
Because its mother ran away to like to go to a cocktail party.
That's fancy, yeah, exactly. A fancy, affluent fucking St. Louis cocktail party. That's what it sounded like.
Whoa.
So there were all these stories. There was a family across the street called the Laidlaws, and they were able to trace their lineage back to Scotland. And apparently the story was that the Laidlaws and this other family had like a feud. And one of the Laidlaw boys killed the oldest son of the opposite family. And then that family placed a curse on the Laidlaws that their oldest son was always going to be haunted. So the Laidlaws across the street are having this like cocktail party in like the early 70s. And somebody goes up, one of the guests of the party goes upstairs to use the bathroom and then comes back downstairs and is like, okay, I just saw basically an apparition of a woman soaking wet holding a baby.
Ew. I got getting chills on my head.
Okay, so the Laidlaw brothers immediately knew, oh no, my brother has died. My oldest brother has died. And now because I'm the next in line as the oldest brother. And then he called and found out that it was true that his oldest brother.
That is some fucking like, the ring shit.
That's a good curse of like, here's a wet lady and a baby to haunt you. Like, fuck, man. Okay,
I can think of nothing worse than a soaking wet lady following with a baby in her hands following you.
Ew. What?
You think wet t-shirt contests are going to be fun, but it's not always fun and games.
Yeah, it's not hot when they're like see-through and have an infant.
Yeah.
yeah. And they're like, it's kind of scary. Oh, that's
It's a whole
so
Madonna
wild.
horror complex. We don't need to get into it, but let's just say it was bad.
So that's one. That's just one.
That is...
So do you want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So then, all right. So then this other crazy thing happened. There was another neighbor there who was this like, they were a black family, and this lady was like a very successful politician. She was like, I think she ended up being a representative for Missouri in some form or fashion. I'm not going to give any names because I don't want whatever, but
Right.
But she had because she was a woman of color in the time, she wasn't electable effectively, right? So she ended up putting a lot of her political weight behind William Clay, who did become elected. He was like a pretty forceful African-American like political guy in St. Louis. So anyway, she goes to California to go to the Democratic National Convention. There's some kind of, everybody's drinking at the house. There ends up being a murder-suicide at the house. Like this party dissolves into some kind of crazy fight. This guy shoots a lady, shoots himself, and an infant is left there.
Oh my God.
What?
Yes. This child grows up. This child is whatever. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that person's life, but that's like a real thing that happened. And this was effectively like after they'd heard all these like baby crying ghost stuff.
What?
After. So there seems to be some sort of like the way my sister, I don't know. There's some kind of like weird geographical thing that happens. It was almost like
Yes.
there's some sort of connection with like infants and lost children and stuff around this place.
Whoa.
Yeah. So there's more.
Okay.
Yeah, keep it coming. This is wild.
Wild,
Also-
right?
Because it feels like. Sorry, go ahead.
No.
Marcy.
Mine's stupid. Go ahead.
Mine's dumb too.
I won't move forward.
Like it feels like it's like that Scottish fit, like put a curse on the whole area or something. Like,
Right.
whoa.
Yes, dude. So, and also it's also interesting to me because this house was really beautiful. It was on this really beautiful street. St. Louis it's a little bit like Detroit or something in that it was like not that Detroit was a port city, but St. Louis was like a port city that was very affluent for a long time, right? So there was so were all these beautiful brick houses built in St. Louis. And if you go there now, there's a lot of degradation. They call them doll houses, which is like they have this beautiful brick front, but there's nothing behind them. Like a lot of the walls have like, right?
Whoa.
So there's this kind of creepy atmosphere, overgrown grass to like a lot of these places. And like, my family, so my grandpa Maynard, that was my mom's dad, they had lived in like North St. Louis in the county, and then he kind of did the opposite of white flight, where when everybody else was moving to the suburbs, he moved his family like into the city, into this beautiful house. So that's how they ended up living there, basically. Wow. Also, happenstance, my mom just happens to be texting me about all this right now.
Hey,
She's psychically connected.
Yeah, because I asked her a specific question about this.
Oh my gosh. Also, I was going to ask you earlier. This was the stupid thing. Is Mort short for mortician? Okay. All right. Let's move on.
No, but it means death, right? Which is I was always like, if I would have died, my parents would have had to been like, oh, we should have gone with something.
That's funny.
All right, so there's more.
Yes.
You guys want me to keep going?
Bring it on.
All right. So there's this other ghost story that always happened, which is that my Aunt Pat, my Grandma Pat, my mom's mom, they had just recently moved into Cabiny Place. My Grandma Pat was upstairs changing the diaper of my Aunt Caroline, who was a baby at the time. She looks out the window. She sees 3 hooded figures floating down the front of the street.
Oh my God.
What?
The first one has like a scepter. The next, like a couple days later, my Uncle Mort runs in the house. He'd been hanging out in the car with, I think, my Aunt Holly, and came in and was like, I just saw 3 hooded figures floating down the street.
Oh, I got chills.
My Grandma Pat was like, I saw that 2 days ago. I didn't want to say anything, but I saw that too, right? So my sister goes back, and this is the article she wrote is in 2008, and she starts doing a lot of like research around this place and around this stuff, which is also where we found out about some of these other like stories that I was telling.
Yes.
So, and also, by the way, a lot of people saw these figures. Like I can't remember, it was like Halloween or something. They were trick or treating, and somebody was like, one of the people's like, better get home before dark, before that guy, the 3 figures come out, and the guy with the stick pokes you in the stomach.
Pokes you in the stomach.
Yeah, with his scepter.
With the scepter.
This creepy
Whoa,
stick he's got
this is wild.
So my sister starts doing all this research. And there's this thing in St. Louis. Okay, this is a whole fucking like racial, economic, political discussion. But there's this thing in St. Louis that when I grew up, it was called the VP Fair. And the VP Fair was this thing that happened downtown. It was like this big celebration that was clearly like sort of federally funded. Like it was big. Like they had like the Blue Angels planes would fly over. There was like a parade, all this stuff, right? VP stands for Veiled Prophet.
Oh, that's KKK stuff, right?
Yeah, now we're getting close to the real deal. Right?
Oh, I was thinking that with the hooded figures, honestly, and the scepter, which I initially thought like visualized a sickle, but then I was like, no, a scepter's different.
See, you're using some of your psychic shit right here, Marcy.
Well, I'm from Louisiana, so these are
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Same deal, right? Same, and if you look up the pictures of the, so growing up, because my family is like pretty left, they did like civil rights work and stuff, so they were like, yo, that shit is racist. Like, there, and it was creepy, right? It was called the VP, it was originally called the Veiled Prophet Fair. They changed the name of the VP Fair to be a little bit less creepy, but it still had all this weird funding behind it. So if you listen to like activists in St. Louis talk about this stuff, they'll tell you that this was like I don't even know, like a kind of a hidden secret political organization, and of course had like pretty serious like right-wing leanings, right? And so
just a side note, this is what drives me crazy about all like the kind of conspiracy theorist right-wing stuff, is that it's like, of course you believe it because that's your roots.
It's happening.
That is your roots. That is your lineage. Of course you believe in secret societies that are trying to take over the world. You literally like you're just a step away from that. Duh, but it's not like a cabal of like actors. It's a bunch of fucking like guys in hoods. Whatever. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just want to put that out there.
No, for real. And it's like, of course, the previous, the early landowners, right? And we know exactly what that means. You know what I mean? Those people had the power and the money where they were able to invest in political power, right?
Right.
So anyway, and it's weird for me even to talk about this because I don't totally know all the specifics. I just know that like these people did have some real influence in like scary ways. And if you look up like images about these people, there's shit like where it's like they got the hoods, they're wearing the hoods, and their faces are painted like the hoods are painted like clown faces. Can you imagine anything more horrifying?
Oh,
like that's just straight up like an image you can find right now on Google, right? So apparently, I'm trying to read these texts right now also. But yeah, so the deal was that there was some VP Fair meetings that were pretty close to Cabiny Place. So that in theory, that's what where these like hooded figures were coming from.
I'm like looking at veiled prophets.
And they probably were like, we can just walk down the street, nobody will bother us because we'll freak people out.
That's exactly what they did, though. That was like they basically did parades, like to kind of like let people know of their presence. Like that's what that's what all of it was. It was just all threats of like, we're around you and you don't know who we are. That's why we're veiled. You can't tell. You don't know, but we're everywhere. Like that was the whole point. It's just this sort of like barely secret, like, because you'd be like, that's my neighbor, I know what horse he's riding, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's Dave. He's like kind of annoying.
Like
like he's a big dork. He's the biggest dork I know.
Total dorks. And like dressed like ghosts, right? Ooh, spooky ghost, it's like
wow.
Yeah, super bizarre. And I was going to say something else, but I forget. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was just going to say, when you look up veiled prophet, I'll just put it out there. It's not anything new, and I do not believe it is her fault. But one of the things that comes up when you look up the veiled prophet St. Louis parades is Ellie Kemper was like a debutante as a kid. Again, you can't blame her for this, but the ties to white supremacy are just like very unfortunate that like, she's, and it's very weird. You look at the pictures and like, you're like, oh yeah, that looks sus, but she's like clearly like a kid in the picture.
Right. And it was the debutante thing is very real. That's a really big like Southern culture thing, right? And those things are all very tied. And it's not like, I'm sure all those people that have done that, it's not like all of them are evil, but there are definitely underpinnings around this stuff that are like...
And it's like the lack of thought about what this is. Like, it's kind of just like not questioning the history of things, which is kind of like the whole like reckoning we've been having for a few years now of like, oh, why aren't we looking back at the things that we've just been participating in and seeing like, what is it really about? So...
Yeah, and there's all this political stuff that happened too of like, they just would just intentionally decimate through zoning and highway and all this other stuff, like any sort of affluent African American city. It happened like East St. Louis that's where Miles Davis was from, and it was this really affluent area that effectively got destroyed through like and if you go there now, it's just like gravel roads and strip clubs and stuff. Whoa. And I do think there's probably, I don't know, I just think that there's a lot of like hidden political power around that stuff.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God.
So that's just they're seeing these hooded figures. That is wild, yeah.
Yeah, and this is what my sister said. So she's like, yes, there was a field alongside Cabiny to the north of the dead-end turnaround where I believe the veiled prophets had their meetings. She's like, I know I learned this in my research, but I can't remember where. I read it now. She says there's a book about the history of the BP Fair, and she might have gotten it there, yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Of course that stuff would leave like some nasty little energy around.
That's what I was just thinking. Like, yeah, of course all this weird shit's happening in that area then. Like, just this negative...
And also when you think about, and then it became like an African American community too, so that even there's still, I don't know, there's still this like weird, scary, energy.
Yeah, real world scary stuff too.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. Ew.
Whoa.
So those are like the big ones. There's a couple more weird ones, like weird ones.
Ooh, yeah.
I just remember, I don't know. I was asking my sister about this, and she was like, I think this was more of like a... Well, I'll just tell it. My Uncle Mort would say that like he's had this experience of like seeing this like energy craft.
What?
In the wintertime, like an orb, but like cylindrical. Whoa. Think like the shape of a UFO, but sort of smaller.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night, land in the snow, and then when they woke up in the morning, the snow there was completely gone. And then like flowers grew up in that springtime in that space in like a circle.
What?
Yeah.
Cool.
It was fertilizing.
Wow, that's awesome. Whoa.
So those are kind of the big cabin stories as far as
Do you believe in aliens?
Here's what I think about that. I think look, space is infinite and time is infinite, and if you think that we're the only like consciousness that is evolved, then I don't think you understand what infinity means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Also,
yeah.
I take an issue with like when people talk about like the only other planet that like looks like it could have, was
Sustained
habitable
life.
for like life forms. Like, well, we only know about carbon based. Like that's all we understand. There doesn't mean there's not other types of life forms that can live in different environments. Like
completely. And this gets back to the psychic thing to me too, because I don't quite know how to articulate this, but this idea like, okay, we have six senses because we evolved in this place that has like touch, sight, sound, taste. It's like the way like fish they don't hear the way we hear because they live in waters, right?
Right.
So it's like, I believe there's probably an infinite number of like sensory experiences you can have. We've only got 6 of them.
yeah.
Right, and our brains only let us get to 6 of them.
Yeah.
Or, like
because
is
we
there
were
a-
evolved to learn how to do those things to keep us safe and to give us food and all that stuff, right? It's like, but if you're entirely different life form, you would have an entirely different sensory perception understanding.
It makes me. I think it's why one of my favorite alien movies is oh God, what is it? The one with red-haired lady. Arrival.
Oh yeah.
Because when the way she figures out their language, and their language is just so unlike anything that we would have on Earth.
Yep.
So it's like really cool to see like, oh, you have to like think outside of what we understand as fact.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally. And like, and two, you see, of course, because we come from evolutionarily a place of fear, right? We started out running from tigers. That like that's how we're going to first react to any alien life form. And if these creatures are advanced in a way that I believe that they would have to be in order to like travel, frankly, probably through time and a dimension that we don't understand to get here.
Yes.
They know that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and there's this idea that like if you're let's say you're observing in the Sahara a group of like tigers, you don't run in and start like being like, hey, what's up, and start trying to high five and communicate with them. You sit there, you just watch them do their thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, I believe that like if they were here to take over, they would have done that already.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
It would
the
not
idea-
have been hard.
Like the idea, like
Not one
I'm
bit.
sure they have weapons that could like destroy us all, but they're trying to hide so they can observe. So like,
Yeah, and I believe possibly,
peeping toms.
and communicate beneficial understandings to us in order to help us not maybe destroy ourselves if possible.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Which is like, because to me, I don't know, this is where it gets really wild, but I really believe that, like what I was talking about, like when you live with someone, if you love them, you develop psychic bonds. I really believe that. Some form of psychic, right? And then if you take that kind of tendency towards communion and you space that out over like millions and millions of years with an entire planet, think of the amount of like power that you could generate. And if you take that level of power and perhaps turn it into something like travel, right, then you might be able to appear in a dimension like ours and then go away really quickly.
Right.
I know that feels like maybe a leap in logic, but that's sort of how I understand it.
Yeah.
I don't know that we've talked about it on this podcast, maybe just touched upon it, but there are so many stories and studies about remote viewing that specifically the government was training people to do remote viewing, which is essentially you have people who are in a room and then you have them focus on another area and they can
Things.
yeah the government really did put a lot of research money into it of training people to do remote viewing to see if that could be something they could use in espionage in wartime.
Right.
But what if on the flip side of remote viewing you can do remote travel and you're not just your view but your person, or maybe that's part of the remote viewing we haven't even figured out yet. The better you get at it, the more your being can go there. So it could even be something like that. Like they're not like they're just projecting themselves here, like almost like a marriage of astral projection and remote viewing.
Yes, exactly right.
Whoa.
That's right. And I believe
Exactly right. I figured it out.
Nice.
You're correct. That is clinically accurate. Well, but this is the other thing is like, I don't believe, I think that the stuff, once you start to test it against science, it sort of starts to disappear because that's not what it's for. Like, that's why there's no real evidence of psychic phenomenon, because it's the point of it almost is to illustrate a world that we don't understand. It's to like inspire awe, right?
Yes.
Because I think that's an important part of like where we need to, like, okay, so we've only really studied psychic phenomenon, remote traveling through the government agencies for warfare. What if we dedicated a same level of power and funding behind it in order to something like travel that is not, the travel we utilize is through dominance, right? We take these like parts of the earth and we explode it, or we mine it by like entering the earth without consent and then pulling it out, right? But there are these other ideas that have to do with like communion, like if you can really get down to a molecular level, request that material move for you, it could.
This is, I think, a big part of the resurgence of witches, even though it is very eye roll and cringe in a lot of ways that everyone is a witch these days. But with like the kind of like natural witches, I was watching this dumb TikTok. Not dumb. I think it was this person who's a gardener, but they also believe that spirits inhabit, the plants. And so they're like,
as do, by the way, almost every other indigenous culture, be they like Native American, Irish, you know what I mean? Like the Aborigines, almost everyone believes that all things have consciousness. And when you believe that, you don't live in a dead world. We live in it. That's why we're so easily able to destroy all the trees.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
Well, and so what she was saying was, if you're going to prune a tree, let's say you're going to prune a tree, you go to the tree and you touch it. You say, just so you know, I'm going to prune it, but it's just to help you grow better. Oh. And so I'm going to prune it to right here. So just so you know, so basically like asking them to be like almost like scoot back a little bit, like scoot back, but this is for you.
Right.
Yeah.
And then here I am running over all the weeds in my backyard.
Well, and it's all fine, right? It's like different, like I don't eat meat, but I ate 1 million hamburgers before I stopped eating meat. And and it's fine. I can't judge anybody for eating meat. I don't think I'm better than them. It's just that I've had a completely different experience with what that feels like for me. And there's stuff where like, I'm not at that level yet to allow me to put down other shit that is also possibly damaging. So it's like, we don't need to beat ourselves up for these things. It's just that the more we remain open to like, various ideas that may be different than what we originally thought. That's how you actually expand your understanding, right? It's like they say that there's no principle that can keep a person in everlasting ignorance more than like prejudice. Shit, I just forgot it. It's a really good one. Hold on one second. Contempt prior to investigation.
Whoa.
That keeps a person in everlasting ignorance.
Yes.
Contempt prior to investigation. I think, talking about like meditation or therapy or whatever, like, and even going back to like the balance of things, like that we can assign good and bad to things, but that is without understanding background and motivation, right? Like even with the worst of the worst, that they are not operating purely just chaotically to destroy. There is a thought process there that they are probably protecting something and they think it is right.
They're like justifying.
Yeah. And it is hard to figure out those. That's why I don't believe in like the death penalty, and I don't believe in, I don't believe in like corporal punishment and maybe kind of almost like on like the restorative justice end of things, like that even I don't even know that prisons are right at all. But it is like this huge like shift in understanding of like, well, there's a reason why people are doing stuff, and if we don't ever get to the bottom of it, we'll never stop it. Yeah, that's
right. Yeah, and we have more incarcerated people in America that has ever existed in human history. Right. So it's like
number one.
Yeah. And, a lot of them are Black and brown people. That just happens to be a fun little coincidence. You know what I mean? It's like maybe we're doing something a little bit wrong, and maybe we really need to like entirely reevaluate our understanding of what it means to be a human being. And I'll say like the talking to trees thing. I grew up skateboarding, and when I was like probably 13, I was in a skateboarding contest. Yes. And I don't know why, but I went around to all the ramps and was like, hey, could you help me out?
Oh, that's so cute.
And I did. I got like first or second place. Like I did way better than I usually did, right?
Nice.
So then I'm going to, so when I go to, getting back to my special, Spiritually Filthy, youtube.com, go check it out. That night at the Yard Theater over here in Hollywood, I like went to the theater and I like touched the walls and was like, hey, could you help me out here? Could we have a good show here tonight, you know?
That's so nice.
And I fucking crushed, baby.
Of course you did.
No, I was like, it went well, you know?
Yeah.
I love that. I really do. I used to jokingly, and this was not cool of me, I used to jokingly make my improv team pray before shows.
Sarcastic prayer.
Well, kind of, but like I grew up in a place where like there was always a prayer before football
like
games.
before sports or whatever.
And like it was just this dumb thing. And one of my teammates like, I'm Jewish and I don't like this. And I was like, but whatever. Like, which is not cool with me. Like I said, and then we transformed it to like doing The Secret. We'd like state an intention and go, The Secret. But it's all the same stuff though, too. Like that is why people do pray over stuff. That is like and
have those like
yeah
superstitions of like, okay, I need to say hello to all the walls in this theater before
like,
every show.
When you go to Hawaii, you give an offering, like, and you like, that's like a thing that people say like you're supposed to do for Pele, like all these things of like just acknowledge and recognition of that this is a living space, no matter what you think.
That's right. The Buddhists say that Buddha exists in the inanimate as much as the animate, And it's like, so there are, in the history of like religion and spirituality, there are all these like very similar understandings that all point to, it's like what do they say? It's like rivers converging on the same ocean, It's like, and we've lost, like ritual is very important, right? It just is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just is, and it's really something that we've sort of lost, and we've created, now the rituals that we go through are like, I look at my phone every morning. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not a ritual that is dedicated towards some kind of like greater good.
Right.
And the thing about all these rituals and stuff is, like I said, like human beings are pretty fearful creatures just because of the way that we sort of evolved. So like we tend to attach fear to stuff that is not actually there, So I think when they turn like a ritual into a superstition when they add fear to it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, so we have all these weird associations with the stuff like the creepy shit of like, the fucking Catholic Church and all the like secret society stuff because there's a lot of fear attached to it. But it's like, that doesn't mean that there aren't aspects of these things that if you remove the fear, you could utilize in your own life that could allow for like good experiences.
Did we talk about this in Giovanni's episode? Because she grew up full gospel or like in like a very spiritual church and she left that. And the idea that, that like leaving the church doesn't mean you leave all of it. Like you're leaving the institution of the church, but they don't own God. They don't own the mysticism of it. They're that's just an institution of how they teach it, Yes.
Yeah.
And I'll say as a left-leaning person of myself, and I'm sure most of our listeners, you know what I mean? That don't let like your idea of what you think conservatives believe in as God, don't let that steal the possibility of spiritual experience for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you're being judgmental. And not that like those certain aspects, of course, don't require and deserve judgment. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's the baby out with the bathwater thing. Like,
I mean, I grew up Catholic and I could never like be like, I'm Catholic still. I just would never happen. But there's still elements that I'm like, I'm not giving this part up. I'm not giving the idea of miracles. I was very into how people became saints and the miracles performed and like those sort of like.
All you have to do is watch the movie The Saint starring Val Kilmer.
That's all I have to do. And that is, but just the idea of like that miracles happen and then people do sacrifice for other people and all that stuff that like that's if you can't take it away from me. Like that stuff the Catholic Church doesn't own. They just
They just ruined it.
well, they
that's
just
the thing.
categorized it and put it in their little books and said if it was true or not. That's all.
Oh yeah,
did.
they ruined a lot for me.
Well,
I
yeah,
hate
of
it.
course. It's like, but the thing is the people that ruin that shit are specific people who utilized spirituality for control, right?
Yeah.
And and especially when it gets as evil as some of the stuff that happened over there, like it becomes really, really hard to be like open to any of those ideas. But when
Yeah.
you're not open to some of those ideas, like those people are winning.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like the people
Yeah.
that
Right.
utilize that stuff for control, like the darkness of that then like wins, as opposed to utilizing your own understanding of like you're saying, like being a kid interested in miracles. I don't know. There's a reason kids are like so imaginative and tend to be so in touch and tend to be so like playful and wondrous. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to get a little bit back there, you know?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has been so fascinating, but I could talk about this forever, but just in the interest of timing, do you have time to listen to one of our listeners' stories?
Yeah, I'd love to.
All right, I'm going to pull it up right
Yes.
now.
Hi, Marcy and Betsy, long-time listener, first-time caller. My name is Jordan. It's okay to use my name. I just did. I wanted to call with my very recent Friday the 13th of January 2023 experience. So it's fresh in my brain. And to set context, like, this is my first sort of creepy Friday the 13th experience in my 32 years of life. And then also, like, I'm someone who I sort of live my day-to-day life as though, like, not thinking about, like, ghosts and things. Maybe part of that is because I'm a preschool teacher and, like, you don't want to freak out the 2-year-olds. But also, I at the same time, I do think it's like really fun to like play in that space, and it's like I really like the idea of like ghosts and demons and angels and just like spirits and that sort of cryptid realm. I really like to play in that realm as far as like story. So here is my very first Friday the 13th creepy experience. I had a nightmare that the basically the only reason that I know that I had a nightmare is because I woke up with the thought that's like, I just had a nightmare. It's like I don't remember any like plot or context of the actual nightmare itself, which isn't I feel like isn't significant, isn't out of the ordinary in and of itself, because I normally don't remember my dreams. I actually kind of find it interesting and somewhat significant when I do remember my dreams, and rare when I do remember my dreams. But the clearest things I remember from this nightmare are being in my bed and just like clear as day, hearing from like somewhere outside of the bedroom, hearing like a ring. It was just like ring 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 ring, hello Jordan, and just like that repeating like a couple times, and just being like freaked out by that. First of all, freaked out by that is like, what does that mean? And then I remember the feeling that like I'm trying to open my eyes, but I can't. Like, I feel like I can't. I physically cannot open my eyes. And when my eyes finally do open, I like look at the time, and it's 1:26 in the morning on Friday the 13th. And with this idea that's like, I just had a nightmare, and it's like, I am freaked out by this. Like, it takes me a good while, like a good 10, 15 or so minutes roughly to get back to sleep, that I'm just like so freaked out by this like nightmare. And that was I do have some other experiences, I say experiences, they're like little incidents of like unexplainedness. I don't know if it's at all interesting for the podcast. But that's my very first Friday the 13th, like, spoopy experience. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Stay spoopy.
Keep spooping.
It is
Keep
one of
on
those things you're like, what is that? Why is if that's the brain doing this?
Yeah, why?
Or is it like we were just talking about, like the house is a living thing, it kind of remembers how you answer the phone, or what? Like what?
Right.
Yeah, so I was confused. So he woke up and then there was a phone call? Sorry, I didn't get
I believe there was a nightmare.
Yes.
Woke up at 1:26 a.m.
right.
And then from the other room heard this repetition, like ringing, and his own voice saying, hello, Jordan, or what? Like, hello.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it was reflecting the way he answers the phone back to him in the middle of the night.
That's my understanding of what. Yeah.
That's what I thought. Weird.
That's so psycho. I will say this one time I woke up in the middle of the night. I heard, this is when I lived by myself in Silver Lake, and I heard this. Hello, and I was like, no, what? No. And I got up, and I had very recently adopted a cat, and that was the sound the cat made in the middle of the night, like an old lost woman in a filthy nightgown. That's what it fucking sounded like.
Cats can make really like
Or huskies too.
Huskies are wild.
Yeah, they're always singing all weird.
Oh. Because also, if it was like, if Jordan was still maybe in a dream.
Yes.
You know, like still maybe like coming to, or like sleep paralysis or something of like hearing that ring, 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 ring. Jordan, like
But
what?
I think how weird it is to hear like outside of yourself. Like we always hear ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like you can listen to yourself, but for the majority of our like understanding of what we sound like and what we do, it comes from an internal perspective. So to kind of hear yourself in another room,
That would freak me out.
Dude, and getting back to the twin thing, to keep it all thematic, that's got to be so wild to be an identical twin, to be able to see some version of yourself in 3-dimensional space. What if Jordan has a fucking ghost twin?
Whoa, ghost twin!
a little a doppelganger.
That is, I never thought about that.
gang.
That must be so wild to be an identical twin.
Yeah.
Well, don't they say there's another one of you somewhere in the world? Like, you know,
Oh, they do. I don't believe that.
there's only so many different combinations of facial features that are available to us. So I have seen someone that I was like, that person looks so much like me.
Really?
I have two.
Really?
Of you, Marcy, not of me.
Yeah, I got most of them are babies because of my little baby nose and mouth. But
Lots of babies.
but yeah, like I've definitely been like, that girl looks so much like me.
Were you at all tempted to go talk to them?
No, she's probably a bitch like me.
If she looks like me, she's got to be a bitch like me.
She just like, I remember specifically like she was wearing an outfit that I was like, I would never be brave enough to wear that. To wear like a one shoulder shirt to class.
She had some real fashion
Okay.
confidence. She's like the confident you.
Yeah, and she had a nose ring too. But I was like, she looks so much like me.
Wow.
One time, my mom sent me this yellow bucket hat because I requested it. I like bucket hats. I think they're cool, even though they kind of make me look like Woody Allen. But I was in a park, and there was this lady with a baby, and the baby had the exact same hat that I was wearing. And I go, "Hey, same hat." To the lady, she laughed. And I was like, I should have asked for a selfie, but then also you don't want to be like a middle-aged man being like, "Can I take a selfie with your
take
baby?"
a selfie with your baby.
Give me that baby real fast.
You borrow that baby.
I think we've touched on so many like very cool topics today. This has been truly a blast, Mort, to have you on.
Thank you
Thanks, you guys.
so
Yeah,
much,
what's funny
Mort.
is, thank you for having me. It is interesting that I was like, I don't have anything for that. And then I was like, No. I have everything for that.
Yes.
Yes. You have so much.
So much. Yes. Tell everyone all the ways to see your work, to find whatever you want to put, whatever you want them to find. Tell them
Yeah, I'm just Mort Burke, MortBurke on your socials, what have you. I tend to not do Twitter because it's a living hellscape. But yeah, and then go watch my special, Spiritually Filthy, on YouTube.
Yes.
I'm real proud of it.
Woo!
Yeah. Thank you so much. This was awesome.
Thank you, Mort.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for listening to A Funny Feeling.
If you have a paranormal experience that you would like to share, please send us a voice memo, or you can email us just a letter at funnyfeelingpod@gmail.com. I'm Marcy.
I'm Betsy, and don't shit your pants.
That was a HeadGum podcast.